The black steel hull of the RMS Titanic stretches over 800 feet, towering like an industrial leviathan above the crowded pier. Thousands of spectators wave handkerchiefs and flags as thick black smoke billows from three of its massive, copper-colored funnels. On the upper promenade deck, wealthy aristocrats in tailored suits and silk gowns sip champagne, looking down with quiet detachment. Below, on the lower gangways, hundreds of steerage passengers, Irish families, Scandinavian farmers, and Syrian immigrants clutch wooden trunks and worn cloth bags, their eyes filled with nervous hope for a new life in America. Deep in the hull, stoking crews shovel tons of coal into blazing furnaces, sending tremors through the ship. With three thunderous blasts of its steam whistle, the world's largest moving object detaches from the quay and glides majestically into the waters of the English Channel. Sunlight pours through the wrought iron glass dome of the grand staircase, illuminating polished oak carvings, gilded balustrades, and first-class passengers descending in evening attire. Meanwhile, in the stifling heat of the Marconi wireless room, telegraph operator Jack Phillips taps frantically on his key, transmitting a backlog of wealthy passengers' personal messages to a shore station in Newfoundland. Pinned to his board are urgent incoming ice warnings from vessels like the Baltic, America, and Masaba, reporting massive icebergs directly along Titanic's high-speed course. Overworked and exhausted, Phillips dismisses a final deafening warning from the nearby Californian. "Shut up! I'm busy working Cape Race." On the bridge, Captain Edward Smith maintains full speed through the clear, moonless night, confident in the ship's double-bottomed hull and watertight bulkheads. The North Atlantic Ocean is unnaturally calm, reflecting the cold light of a million stars, like black glass. In the open-air crow's nest, 90 feet above the freezing deck, lookouts Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee shiver in the biting wind, searching the horizon without binoculars. Suddenly, Fleet spots a dark, towering mass blocking the starscape directly ahead. He violently strikes the warning bell 3 times and grabs the telephone to the bridge. "Iceberg! Right ahead!" he screams. First Officer William Murdoch immediately orders the engines full astern and the helm turned hard, a starboard. The ship slowly begins to veer, but its enormous momentum carries it forward. The underwater spur of the iceberg grazes the starboard bow, grinding along 500 feet of steel plating, popping rivets, and slicing open 5 forward watertight compartments. Deep below decks, water cascades into Boiler Room 6 with terrifying force. White distress rockets burst high in the pitch-black sky every few minutes, scattering cold sparks over the tilting decks. The harsh hiss of venting steam roars overhead, while Wallace Hartley and his 8-man orchestra stand on the freezing deck, playing lively ragtime tunes to stave off terror. Crew members struggle to unlimber the 16 wooden lifeboats and 4 collapsible crafts, enough for only half the people on board. Panic escalates as passenger Thomas Andrews informs Captain Smith that the ship will inevitably founder in less than 2 hours. Officers draw revolvers to control surging crowds as lifeboats are lowered into the Black Ocean, many less than half full due to confusion over the women and children first protocol. Third-class passengers, lost in the maze of flooded lower corridors, scramble past locked gates toward the fading light above. The bow is fully submerged, pulling the stern high into the air until the huge propellers hang suspended above the black water. Deep inside, heavy machinery tears free and crashes through bulkheads. The lights flicker out, plunging the scene into complete darkness. Under immense structural tension, the Titanic groans, buckles, and violently breaks in two. The bow plunges straight to the ocean floor, while the stern rises vertically before spiraling down into the freezing -2 degrees Celsius abyss. For 30 agonizing minutes, the quiet night is shattered by the desperate cries of over 1,500 souls, dying in the icy water. A pale golden sun rises over a cold sea, strewn with icebergs and floating debris. The RMS Carpathia sits motionless as it rescues 705 shivering survivors from small wooden lifeboats. Blankets, hot tea, and tearful reunions fill the crowded decks, yet a heavy grief lingers for the more than 1,500 lives lost to the deep. Wrapped in a wool blanket near the railing, a young survivor stares silently at the vast, empty ocean where the majestic liner vanished hours before. Titanic's maiden voyage comes to a tragic close, leaving an indelible scar on history and an immortal legend of vulnerability, hope, and remembrance.